In this lesson, you are going to learn how to solve one-step equations using addition and subtraction. In this first example, it says solve x minus 5 equals negative 1. In order to solve for x, we need to get x alone. In order to do that, we are going to undo whatever was done to it by using the inverse operation. Here, 5 was subtracted from x, so we'll use the inverse addition and we will add the exact same amount that was originally taken from it. If we add 5 to the left side of the equation, we have to do the exact same thing to the right side of the equation in order to keep it balanced. On the left would have x minus 5 plus 5, which would just be x because x plus 0 is the same thing as x. Bring down the equal sign in the middle, and on the right side we have negative 1 plus 5, which is just 4. In this example, it says solve z plus 3 halves equals 1 half. Remember, to solve for z, we're going to get it alone. Since 3 halves was added to z, we're going to do the opposite, which is subtract that same amount, 3 halves. Whatever you do to one side of an equation, you have to do the exact same thing to the other side of the equation in order to keep it balanced. On the left, we have z plus 3 halves minus 3 halves, which leaves us just with z. Bring down the equal sign. And on the right side, we've got 1 half minus 3 halves. I know that I can do add the opposite in order to make this easier to solve. 1 half plus negative 3 halves would be negative 2 halves, which simplifies to negative 1. Here we have w plus 13 and 2 tenths is equal to 10 and 4 tenths. In order to solve for w, we need to get it alone, so we're going to undo what was done to it by subtracting 13 and 2 tenths from both sides of the equation. On the left, we're left just with w. Bring down the equal sign, and here we have 10 and 4 tenths minus 13 and 2 tenths, so again I can add the opposite. A positive plus a negative means to actually take the difference of those numbers. So I'm going to go over to the side and I'm going to line up the decimals in order to subtract. I can't do 2 minus 4, so I'll go to the ones place and take 1 from 3 and bring 10 tenths over in order to be able to subtract. Line up the decimals in the answer, and we are left with 2 and 8 tenths, and since 13.2 is bigger than 10.4 and it was negative, my answer here will be a negative number. Here we have p minus 5 equals negative 2. In order to solve for p, we'll get it alone by adding 5, since it was originally p minus 5. We'll do the same thing to both sides of the equation. P minus 5 plus 5 is just p. Bring down the equal sign, and we have negative 2 plus 5, which is equal to 3. Another thing you'll need to be able to do in this lesson is write an equation using numbers and symbols from words in order to be able to solve for a variable. This example says a company has a profit of $750 this week. This, meaning that amount, $750, is $900 more than the profit, P, last week. Write an equation to determine the profit from last week. If I break down the words from that example, I know the profit this week is $750. I also know that that amount, $750, is equal to something. Is means equals in math. For example, if I said 2 plus 2 is 4, that's the same thing as saying 2 plus 2 equals 4. So the profit this week, $750, is the same thing as the profit from last week plus $900 because it says more than. So we're going to add $900 to P in order to figure out the profit last week. $750 is equal to $900 more than the profit P last week. To solve for P, we'll subtract 900 from both sides. On the right side, we have just P because 900 minus 900 is 0, and 0 plus P would be just P. On the left side, we have negative 150, so that means that actually last week the company lost money. Here's one more example of writing an equation from words. It says a company has a profit of $120.50 today. This profit, meaning $120.50, is. So as soon as I see that is, I know that I can use my equal sign. So I'm going to start to write the equation. $120.50 is, or equal to, $145.25 less than the profit P from yesterday. So I know that the profit P from yesterday minus $145.25 would be equal to $120.50. Less than means subtract. So in order to solve for P, I'm going to get it alone by using the inverse of subtraction, which is addition. And we are going to use that same amount that was originally subtracted to add to both sides. This means that the profit from yesterday was $265.75.